Just pouring out admission, regardless of my objection. I need you on my skin, just come over, pull me in, just. Oh, baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle? Oh, yeah. Alexa, pause. Hello, Allie and Bert here from bakingamoment.com. Bert is feeling very sleepy right now, so I expect to receive a lot of bites over the next few minutes. What do you think, Bert? Could you maybe chill out with the biting a little bit? It is officially Christmas time, and I couldn't be more excited to dive into all the seasonal cookie recipes. So today, I'm gonna be talking to you about my favorite peppermint mocha cookie recipe. Are you with me here? Are you ready? Let's dive in. So this is an oldie but a goodie. I created this recipe way back at the beginning of bakingamoment.com in 2013, and I love it so much that I feel like I just want to bring it back to the surface again and make sure that everybody who didn't know Baking a Moment back in the day has an opportunity to see and make this delicious cookie recipe. It's inspired by one of my favorite wintertime treats that you can get at coffee shops, the Peppermint Mocha. It's coffee with peppermint and chocolate in it, and let me tell you, those flavors work. It is all so good together, and I always look forward to Christmas time so that I can treat myself to a peppermint mocha latte. But this recipe is even better because it is a peppermint mocha latte in cookie form. Cookie form, my friend. Can you even? Let's talk about what you're gonna need to make these yummy cookies. They bake up, by the way, nice and soft and really moist. And they stay that way for days. And they're just loaded with so much good coffee, chocolate, and candy cane flavor. You're really gonna love them. So, what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some butter, and I prefer to use unsalted butter, so that way I know exactly how much salt should or shouldn't go into my cookie dough. Different brands of butter may contain different amounts of salt. So if all you have is salted butter, that's okay, but I'm not gonna be able to give you a magic formula for how much salt you should add or take out of the recipe as it's written. You're gonna have to taste. So if you're elderly or really young or pregnant, just be careful because raw flour, raw eggs, okay? Just use your common sense. You're also gonna need some brown sugar. I used light brown sugar, but dark brown sugar will work very well too. And some regular white granulated sugar as well. The combination of the two produces a really nice texture to the cookie. Some instant espresso granules are gonna give these peppermint mocha cookies that really rich, toasty coffee flavor. I usually buy these online. I will make sure that I include an affiliate sales link in the description so you can pick up a jar too, if it's not something that you already have in your cupboard. 1 egg plus an additional yolk. Again, that additional yolk is really gonna keep it moist. Do you hear that? What do you need, sweetheart? What do you need? Some cocoa powder. It doesn't matter if you use natural cocoa powder or Dutch cocoa powder, which may also go by the label dark cocoa powder. Sometimes I use a combination. I feel like that produces a really nice flavor. Some baking soda. This is gonna leaven the cookies. It's gonna help them to puff up in the oven as they bake, as well as spreading out a little bit. It's gonna give them a nice light texture as well. A little bit of kosher salt. Kosher salt's my go-to. It doesn't contain any bitter tasting additives like iodine. Plus it's easy to source. It's just got a really nice pure salt flavor. A bag of chocolate chips. I like semi-sweet, but you could also use milk chocolate chips or white chocolate chips if you like. And one of the key ingredients, peppermint crunch baking chips. I do manage to get them pretty easily from my local local supermarket in the baking section, but just in case you have any trouble, I will try to include a link in the description so that you can purchase them online. Now, this cookie recipe is a little bit different than so many of the other cookie recipes that you might find on bakingamoment.com because it actually starts with melted butter. Instead of creaming the butter and sugar together, you start by melting the butter, and this produces a really interesting texture to these cookies. It makes them very soft and very moist, and it's very distinctive. So that's gonna be step number one, is get your butter melted. Then you're gonna, did I forget to mention vanilla extract? I think I might have. You need vanilla for this too. Here she goes, she's biting me. Oh, you're such a little devil. What is it that you want? She just wants to hide under my chin, maybe? I'm telling you, she's a sassy lady. She's a sassy lady. She knows what she wants and what she doesn't want. Butter is melted. You're gonna stir in both the brown sugar and the white sugar. You're also gonna add the espresso powder, whole egg, and your additional egg yolk, and stir that in really well too. Then you can stir in the vanilla and add the flour, the baking soda, and the salt. Stir everything together until it's fully incorporated. Then you're gonna fold in your chocolate chips and your peppermint crunch baking chips. I like to portion out my cookie dough with a 1.5 tablespoon scoop, which I will add another affiliate sales link in the description so you can buy one of those if you don't already have one. It makes the perfect size cookies. I actually scoop these cookies a little bit more than 1.5 tablespoons. So instead of flattening off the surface after I scoop it, I let it like kind of mound up a little bit. So it's closer to 2 tablespoons of dough per cookie. Slide your trays in one at a time and allow these cookies to bake. If you are like me and you really love a drop cookie, what are you saying? If you really love your drop cookies to be super soft and moist and almost gooey in the center, whatever you do, do not overbake them. That is gonna be, right? She's like, yes, queen. Do not overbake them. That is the #1 cause of dry cookies. You definitely want to err on the side of underbaking rather than overbaking. And keep in mind the idea of carryover cooking, which is the concept that foods will continue to cook and firm up as they sit even after you've taken them out of the oven. Several minutes after you take them away from the heat source, they're going to continue to cook and firm up. They'll probably increase in temperature by at least a few degrees just as they sit on the baking sheet. So take them out just a little bit shy of done and allow them to cool on the baking sheet and firm up. You are going to love them. They are so good. I mean, you can have them with coffee, right? If you're like a coffee super fan, then go for it. But I also think they're really good with tea, they're really good with hot cocoa, and even just with a tall glass of cold milk. Oh my goodness, put them out for Santa on Christmas Eve. He will be so grateful. He'll probably give you extra presents. Right, Bert? We want extra presents. Please, give us all the extra presents. Alexa, unpause. In the middle, baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle, baby? Really hope you love this recipe. If you have any questions at all, the first link in the description is going to take you straight to the full recipe where there are frequently asked questions. You can save it, you can print it, you can share it on your social media if you really want to help a sister out. So check that out, and if you have questions that are not answered there, then feel free to drop me a comment. I love hearing from you. Enjoy!